Sometimes I feel so unsettled. I mean, I know that I have anxiety, yeah, but the way it feels is like my skin is too tight and I'm on edge. And everyone else doesn't seem to be on alarm, but I am. Like there are alarm bells going off in my head because if I don't fix something and take all these steps to negate this worst possible scenario, it will happen and it will suck. So I have to fix it. And I just am like so strung up about like the fact that I have to fix it and everyone else is just super calm. And I know internally that there's not anything that's actually wrong, but yet there is something that is wrong, and it feels like that thing that's wrong is me. And at least I know that's what it feels like, and I can tell myself that that's not the case, but that's what when I'm in that state, that's how it feels. And it's really hard to have just like that experience because it's exhausting, to be honest, to just carry that weight or all of those thoughts, those several thousand, it seems, thoughts that I have all the time. But other times I feel just fine. Like I feel better than fine. I feel kind of great. Like I am happy to be around and I get excited about things and I make things and I get into this really good flow. And I just wonder how I can have both of those things at the same time within this body that is me, because it really does go from feeling horrible and overwhelmed to feeling great and content. Like I can't get over the feeling of how good it feels to feel content. Part of it is just very confusing just to hold both of those identities or those feelings in my body that go back and forth. It's hard to handle. It's I guess the juxtaposition of it is really weird. And if you go on Google, like I did, and figure out what the definition of juxtaposition is, it says something along the lines of the fact that by two things being in opposition with each other and being paired together, they create some sort of contrast which enhances them both. That sounds very fancy, which is very poetic, but I don't really feel quite poetic when I feel anxious. I feel bad, frankly. It's just kind of exhausting to have both of those things at once. And I wonder sometimes how I can live in harmony with the things that are me, I guess. And I feel like to do that, you kind of have to have some sort of metamorphosis, self-love journey, eat, pray, love, whatever. But honestly, the real ideal version of that, I guess, to me is the Zuko arc. If you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, Prince Zuko is honestly one of the characters that starts off very evil and angry. He struggles a lot because he was abused as a child, was kicked out of his house, and just kind of has to chase the Avatar for eternity until he finds him, because otherwise he won't regain his honor, which he's obsessed with. And then by the end of the show, he's this very calm, collected, extremely grateful and content guy. Not to mention, low-key, he gets very attractive at the end. And that would be very nice to just go from one thing to the other. Like, his pre-self and his post-self are just very stark and different. But that's not to say that he did not struggle in the process of getting there, because he literally cuts off his ponytail, shaves his head, almost gets killed a bunch of times, drinks a lot of tea with his uncle, and then shows up and then becomes this better version of himself. And, we are kind of obsessed with this concept of the glow up, and he definitely did. But I don't want to suffer in the process of healing. I don't really love the concept of going into something knowing that it's going to suck. And I wonder if there's a way that I could enjoy the process of healing itself. And the way that he's represented is he's very vulnerable, and his internal confusion is just very realistic and relatable. And he just has this rebirth, which sounds really dramatic, but he absolutely does. And it would just be nice to, come out the other side a much better person, a happier, content person. I think I'm happy. I think I'm content sometimes. I don't think anyone's content all the time. But this goes to say, what do I even want out of, a Zuko arc, so to speak? I mean, I would love to be a little bit less anxious or, you know, at least be less bothered by the fact that I am an anxious person. You know, it's like this big thing that I carry around on my back like a backpack. And maybe like it could be like a smaller backpack perhaps, or something that at least is more manageable, or something I don't mind. I'd also really like to be happy. I don't really want to go into life just being like okay. I want to just be happy, right? You can't be happy all the time, but I would like to most of the time enjoy the things that I'm doing and the person that I'm becoming and the things that I'm experiencing. I would also like to be a little bit more okay with the concept of uncertainty, because right now it absolutely freaks me out and I kind of hate it. And honestly, all this is just to say that I would like to have a healing arc. That was a lot. To be honest, that was a lot. And I feel a lot, and I'm sure you do too. But I really just want to have an experience where I'm doing something for me intentionally, and I'm ending up the person I would like to be. I don't really know what that looks like, but I'd love to document it. And so I guess this is saying, welcome to my healing arc.